take a breath for a second, because I want to talk to the part of you that's exhausted. Exhausted from waiting, exhausted from hoping, exhausted from giving someone credit for things they haven't actually done yet. Because falling for potential feels romantic until it starts to feel like neglect. And if you're honest with yourself, you're not attached to who this person is. You're attached to who you wish they would become. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. If they were capable of being that version already, you would have seen it by now. Real potential doesn't hide. Real potential doesn't make you confused. Real potential doesn't show up once every few weeks and call it effort. Let's slow this down and look at what's actually happening. Potential becomes addictive when you're emotionally starving. When someone gives you tiny glimpses of what could be, the deep conversation, the one good date, the one weekend where they tried. You hold on to that one good moment like it's a contract, like it proves the future is going to be different, like the inconsistency is temporary and the real them is the one that showed up that one time. But people do not reveal their real self once. People reveal their real self repeatedly, through patterns, through effort, through consistency, through the way they show up on boring days, stressful days, inconvenient days. This is where the confusion starts. You're comparing two different versions of them, the version in your head and the version in front of you. And it feels almost impossible to admit that the version in front of you isn't enough. Not because they're bad, but because letting go means grieving the fantasy you built around them. And sometimes the fantasy is the only thing that made the situation feel bearable. So let me give you the wake-up call in the gentlest, clearest way possible. If someone wanted to be the person you see in them, you wouldn't have to stretch this hard. You wouldn't have to argue with their actions. You wouldn't have to overanalyze their excuses. You wouldn't have to beg for clarity. And you definitely wouldn't have to wait for them to grow into what you need. Potential is not a promise, it's a possibility. And possibilities mean nothing without consistent action. You don't build a relationship on potential. You build a relationship on patterns. And what are their patterns telling you? What do you actually see? Not what you hope, not what you imagine, not what you know they could do if they finally got it together. What do they do right now? Do they communicate consistently? Do they follow through? Do they make plans and keep them? Do they bring stability into your life? Do they resolve conflicts like an adult? Do you feel safe with them? Do you feel chosen? Do you feel like you're building together? Or do you feel like you're always almost there? Like you're loving the preview of a movie that never actually comes out? Like you're dating someone's potential while they show up with the bare minimum? Let me say something you might need to hear out loud. The bare minimum feels like effort only when you've been underloved. And when you've been underloved, hope becomes a survival strategy. You convince yourself that maybe next month, or maybe once they're less stressed, or maybe when things settle down, they'll finally become the version you pictured. But that version exists only in your imagination, not in their actual behavior. And I want to talk about you for a moment, because falling for potential usually means you see the best in people. And that's not a flaw. That's a gift. You see people's hearts. You see who they could be. You notice their intelligence, their softness, their ambition, their charm. But seeing it is not the same as being loved by it. Someone can have the most beautiful traits in the world and still not have the capacity to build something real with you. Someone can have potential and still not have readiness. Someone can have intentions and still not have consistency. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. Sometimes you fall for potential because it feels safer than facing the reality that this person isn't choosing you. It's easier to say, give them time, than to say, they're not showing up. It's easier to say they're trying than to say, I'm settling. It's easier to say, I know they can be better, than to say, they're just not good for me. So let me give you something incredibly simple, a one-line truth that will save you months, maybe years of emotional confusion. If you have to keep imagining their future, their present is telling you everything you need to know. People don't hide the truth. They reveal it through their patterns. Their patterns are their capacity. Their patterns are their emotional availability. Their patterns are their real self, not the potential you're in love with. So what do you do now? You stop investing in could be. You stop over-explaining their inconsistency. You stop rewarding bare minimum effort, and you start paying attention to how someone treats you right now. Not how they treated you once, not how they treated you in the beginning, not how you hope they'll treat you if they finally grow. Now, ask yourself, if this is who they stay, can you build the life you want with them? If the answer is no, then the honest truth is you're not losing a soulmate. You're letting go of a storyline your heart wrote to survive the uncertainty. You're not walking away from love. You're walking away from confusion. You're walking away from delay. You're walking away from being almost chosen. You're walking away from a guess. And walking away doesn't make you cold. It makes you clear. It makes you grounded. It makes you aligned with someone who can actually meet you at your level. You deserve a relationship that exists in reality, not one that only exists in your imagination. And the day you stop falling for potential is the day you finally make space for someone who shows up fully, consistently, and without hesitation. You're not asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong person. I hope these words gave you the clarity you've been needing. If this helped you even a little, share it with someone who might need the reminder too. And if you want more calm, honest encouragement like this, make sure you subscribe. Take care of yourself. You deserve peace. I think you'll find this video helpful as well.